Hi everyone! How are you doing this week? I hope last week was a nice week for y'all. I didn't post a reading. I did do a reading. It was a good energy, so I hope you had a good week last week. Let's just jump into it. The energy of this week, for the energy of this week, I'm going to be using my Beyond Lemuria deck. I'm going to see what the energy is according to this deck, and then I'm going to do my day-by-day questions. My day-by-day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday read with these three decks: the Crow Tarot, the Synchronicity Oracle deck, and the Magic of Unicorns Oracle deck. So for now, let me move these three aside, and I'll get to the energy of this week for March 21st through 27th. Happy spring, everybody. Happy Aries season. I live in California, and I'll tell you what, like a few days ago, I was just starting to smell that seasonal change smell. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. It's like when the seasons change, there's just a different energy and a different smell in the air. But since I live in California, California is just crazy. It skips spring altogether and just jumps right into summer. So it's been summertime around here, even though spring's just starting. But that's not quite true. It didn't skip spring. It started feeling like spring back in February. So here we are at the beginning of spring. It's felt like spring for a month, and now it's summer. So I don't know what the rest of y'all are experiencing, but I like it. It feels nice and fresh and new to me. Feels just right for Aries season to be starting, just getting into the world, getting to it, and all that good stuff. Ending a lot of patterns. I noticed last week, I was finding myself just there for myself a lot differently. I kept finding myself saying no, this Lexi in this moment of weakness deserves to be loved. This Lexi deserves to be loved. This Lexi deserves to be loved. And it's by contrast, a lot of times I'd beat myself up over this thing or that thing. And last week I was just kind of finding myself saying no, I'm not going to beat myself up over that. This Lexi right here now in this moment of weakness and vulnerability deserves just as much love as the Lexi that I'm framing as the superior Lexi who deals with things differently and all that. And it really it really kind of allowed me to be there for myself in a lot of ways that I wasn't before. And I'm not sure what y'all are experiencing, but I hope that you're finding similar things pop up for you, where you're realizing, hey, I don't need to beat myself up over this thing anymore. It's not getting me anywhere anyway. So I hope you're feeling that good energy too, just stepping through those old patterns and just letting them go, just realizing they don't serve me. It doesn't serve me to be mean to myself. It doesn't serve me to beat myself up, be oh, you did it again. You did that bad thing again. Boy, you're so pathetic, or you're so, I don't know, because you keep doing this, you're incapable of getting to the life you want, or this, that, or the other thing, whatever you say to yourself in that moment of weakness. I hope that you're also seeing it for what it is too. It's just an old pattern of judgment that we picked up to try and protect ourselves from other people judging us. But it's we're not getting out of judgment here. We're just judging ourselves first before anybody else thinks to, and that's not helpful. All right, so let's see, what's the energy for the collective this week, March 21st to 27th. This coming week, March 21st. What's a good energy? March 21st. Oh, all right, 2 cards. We've got, bam, ether. Bam, root chakra. I like this a lot. It's 11 and 2. Wow. Already getting off to the number synchronicities. All right, I'll bring this closer to the camera. We have 11, which adds up to 2. Oh my gosh. And I'm recording this on Sunday, March 20th. And the numerology of the day, 3/20/2022, adds up to 11. So this is very, very synchronistic for this day in particular. So ether is all about just the energy all around us, swimming all around us, the magic and the life and the energy. That's always buzzing everywhere, constantly. I mean, we're made up of all these atoms with electrons that are buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. And we're not even aware that even in stillness, there's so much happening energetically. There's so much moving and popping. And this week, I think this is very, very clearly saying to me that, like, when we ground ourselves, we can get some of that magic for ourselves. When we sit in stillness, is exactly what I said just now. You know, we sit in the stillness, but we don't even realize the energy that's boiling all around us and buzzing and humming and moving constantly. So it's kind of this interesting balance of like, I wouldn't say it's a frenetic energy. It's just an energy of energetic tingling, energetic humming and stillness. And so it's like finding that stillness and that grounding and centeredness in the buzzing of the universe all around us will give us access to all of the magic. I mean, like, think of it like, what's a good example? I mean, just think of it like a fish or something, you know, like they're in this water, and this water is this dense energy. It's always flowing, and it's always rushing. And, you know, we don't think of us as being like in some sort of a substance, because we're walking around in air all the time, but air is a substance too. It's just, we're always in this like thickness, even though air is kind of thin, but we're always in this like thick liquid soup of energy. And so I think this week it's really saying, like, when you ground and center yourself, you have access to energetic possibilities that you didn't really see possible until you found this place of peace within yourself. Super, super powerful, because it's like the root chakra is all about that groundedness and centeredness and connection to the earth and connection to that place of peace and calm. And when you're in that place of peace and calm, then you can have access to all of the energy all around you, this element of the ether. It's very much like the magician energy in the tarot, where when you allow yourself to be in the present moment, you see all the magic all around you, all the tools at your disposal, all the possibilities. And so this is a week full of possibilities. When you find that peace within yourself, the possibilities are endless. I love this. I'm very excited. Really wonderful. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, perfect. Great. Okay. Now let's see what the week's energy is. I'm using the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane, as well as the Synchronicity Oracle by Kathy Nichols. And then I'm going to be also using the Magic of Unicorns deck by Diana Cooper and Marjolaine Crujit. And I'm excited to see what they all have to say, considering this lovely message for this week. So let's shuffle and get to it. All right. It's a good energy for the collective to be there this week. It's a good energy for the collective this week. Good energy for the collective. All right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, excuse me, and Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. Arrange these like so. There we go. Okay. And this card came out. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. That's also thematically talking about these energies. The Four of Pentacles. I feel like this is also speaking to this theme of grounding and centering, because the Four of Pentacles is like the four energy of the square, the solidity, the door, the portal. It's like when you ground yourself in this solid space, you have access to the doorway to new possibilities. It's like this crow sees all these possibilities on the horizon. And I think that bringing yourself to a place of stillness and peace will allow you to feel it. Because the other side of the Four of Pentacles is when you're feeling a sense of lack, or a sense of like I need to hold on to what I have, or else you're not necessarily being at peace in the moment. And that's not all the Four of Pentacles is about. Sometimes it's about looking forward to the future and saying, I have this now. How can I build this into something greater? Where can I take what I have now? It's kind of seeing the possibilities on the horizon. That's a positive read on this card. And I feel like with the ether and the root chakra, it's saying that when you ground yourself, the magic will appear, the pathway will appear, the doorway will appear in a very physical way. The physical reality will show you a new doorway that you can move through. And it's very exciting. I feel good about this. I will just put this right over here. Awesome. Cool. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Awesome. Let's go. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't do this upside down, did I? I did. Okay, well, I will show you what I do for when I have a lot of reversals that I'm not sure about. I take out my coin and I say, hey, should I keep these cards reversed? Or should I turn them upright? First, upright. Keep them reversed, it says. All right, it's a wonky, weird week. But I think it's good. I think it's like turning things on their head. But not in a bad way. Just in a way that's strange. Okay. All right. All right, let's see what the Synchronistic deck has to say about the energy of this week. All right, for each day. Clarification on the Six of Pentacles. Clarification on the Six of Pentacles. Thank you. Raven. Clarification of the Knight of Swords in reverse. Clarification on the Knight of Swords in reverse. Awesome. Loss. Clarification on the King of Cups. Clarification on the King of Cups. Oh. Rest and intuition. Clarification on the Ace of Wands. Clarification on the Ace of Wands in reverse. Thank you. Success. Clarification on the Moon. Oh, I love how rest is here, and then on the success card it says wake. You can see that right here. Boop. Focus. Ah, there we go. Wake. Very interesting. Okay. Move these over. Okay. Friday, we have the Moon. And oh, you knew what I was asking. Community. Oh, wow. And then the King of Wands in reverse on Saturday. Okay. Protecting love. And the Six of Cups on Sunday. 2 cards. Summer and gentleness. All right. Very interesting week. It always feels a little scary when the Lost card comes out, but sometimes it's just letting go of something in our lives that's already kind of been falling away anyway. I found it came up last week for me on a day where I just decided to like walk away from something that I just wasn't karmically feeling. Like I just wasn't in the mood to deal with the karma of all that. I just didn't feel like obligated to deal with it. And I kind of think that's what's happening this week. It's like when you ground yourself to the magic of what's all around you and what's guiding you, the physical reality opens up new possibilities, and you don't have to feel like you're kind of chained to the old story, the old karma. So I want to see what the unicorns have to say before I go into each day, just to kind of get a sense of the fullness of each day, the full vibe. Cool. Let's see. All right, Monday. Thank you. Cosmic Diamond. Whoop. Okay. You know what? I'm going to take all of them because that's kind of a heavy energy with loss. This is such an intense looking card too. And then we've got, we've got a lot going on. Tuesday's popping. All right. That makes sense. Rose gold cosmic pool. Thank you. Uncord relationships. Oh, I like that. Energy Friday. Whoa. Okay, I love this Friday. We got community. And then the unicorns are like, caring community. The unicorns are like, oh, fuck yeah. I mean, sorry if there's sensitive ears watching this, but heck yeah. We are connecting with people. Saturday. Clarification on energy of Saturday. Boom. Love that. Stargate of Lyra. Clarification on the energy of Sunday. Clarification. Cosmic Rainbow. Very cool. Okay. Can you feel the cosmic rainbow? A lot of people won't get that song reference. Awesome. Awesome. What an interesting week. I like it. It's a little heavy. Well, the thing is, it's not that it's a little heavy. I mean, it is that it's just like things are going. Things are falling away. It's like we've kind of been prepping for things to fall away. We've kind of been coming to this like peace and balance within ourselves. I feel like over the last bunch of weeks, we've been coming into a real sense of like peace within ourselves, like stopping the fight, you know, like we're not running away from ourselves anymore like we used to. And I think that it makes sense that after we stop running, we start to just let go of what we were even running from. It's like, what were we really running from within ourselves? And once we see that, we can choose to let it go or choose to continue it. But I think that the energy is really supporting this letting go. So let's hop into the day by day. I know it's a little messy because I have a bajillion cards out, but I really like using the synchronicity deck with this with these readings. I think that it adds like a lot more context to the energy. So yeah, all right. So starting off, we got this Six of Pentacles for Monday, and Six of Pentacles in reverse. So upright, it's about this giving and receiving, this receptivity, this abundance of what you have, giving to yourself and giving to others. It's about sharing as opposed to sacrifice or martyrdom. You know, it's about realizing that you have to give to yourself and to others. And in reverse, I feel like you're discovering a new way to give and receive. There's like a new answer coming in. It's like, what do I share with myself? What do I share with others? Spirit is bringing you wisdom on what that means. So the raven is all about spiritual guidance. The raven is the familiar to the witch. It's the connection to that natural world that brings information to the witch from the ether, from beyond. So information is coming to you from beyond about how maybe you're giving more than you're receiving. Because I mean, when this is reversed, oftentimes it's cluing you into where your ego is maybe taking control of this energy and kind of I don't want to say perverting the energy, but a little bit. It's like, you know, normally it's like a really nice, strong energy, but when your ego gets involved, your ego tells you things about how you need to give more to others or how you need to, sacrifice this or that because it wants to feel safe. And so it kind of takes the energy and creates a false negative story about how you need to be in this situation, how you need to put yourself last. And it's like we're re-examining this energy and we're re-examining what we give to others. That's why it's in reverse. It's not because the ego is taking control of us today. It's because this wisdom is coming in through seeing the situation in that way. We're able to see it for what it is, and we're able to get that wisdom and learn, like, how do we really overextend ourselves? How do we give more than we receive? How do we give to ourselves in a balanced way? How do we balance this energy out? Because it's not serving us to just give to others at our own expense. And this information is coming in today. Again, when you ground yourself and sit in the stillness, the information will come in, the wisdom will come in. So if you feel like there's this energy of self-sacrificing on Monday, take a moment to ground yourself, take a moment to center yourself, whether that's through meditation or taking a walk or doing something creative that brings you back to center, like playing music or doing art, talking to a caring friend, something like that. Not one that you're giving anything to, obviously. Avoid talking to people that you feel like you have to give something to, because that's not necessarily going to ground you. But ground yourself, and then the information will come in, the wisdom will come in, because the unicorns are saying it's time to spread hope and joy and illuminate the world. It's time to share your light. And it's like, are you giving to others and not giving to yourself? Is what you give not what you want to be giving to yourself? Because the thing is too, with the Six of Pentacles, it's all about this overabundance of like, hey, I went fishing for me and I had extra and I shared it with you and now you're happy. I'm not fishing to share it with you. I'm fishing for me, and the extra bits of fish that I get, I share with you. And so it's like, you have to remember that it's you first and then others. You put your mask on before you put the other person's mask on, the little airplane thing. So you have to think today about the situation. You have to revisit situations where you're doing stuff to give to others first, and then you get something out of it from them. It's like But are you doing this for you? Are you doing this to bring hope and joy into your life? Are you bringing joy into your life through this thing? Or are you doing it as a means to an end? That's really what it's asking you today. And it wants to bring this energy back into alignment. It's like you catch the fish for yourself, the extra you share with others, and everyone's happy. So you do your soul purpose, your soul mission for you, not for somebody else. And the abundance that brings into your life is something that you share. It's like, like with being an artist on Instagram, it's like you don't just make the post for Instagram. You do the art because you love doing the art, because it's for you, and then you share it on Instagram. It's like you have to like look at, what is this for? Is it for me? That's the question. Is this for me, or is this for outside of me? Is this to appease an energy outside of myself to make me feel safe? And re-examining that element of safety, I think, is really important this week, because the reasons that we let the ego push us around and tell us these negative stories about ourselves is because we feel unsafe if we're not beating ourselves up. I know that way of putting it sounds a little silly, but it's like, if we're a lot of times we'll self-sacrifice because that makes us feel safer. We'll hide a bit of ourselves because that makes us feel safer. We'll try and conform ourselves to somebody else's expectation because that makes us feel safer. We'll focus too much on the outside because that makes us feel safe, instead of focusing on the inside, which is where the real safety comes from. So where I think so many of these cards are reversed this week, because it's really showing us like what in ourselves has been reversed, what programs have been eating away at us this whole time, where we've been focusing on the outside and not spending time loving and focusing on the inside and taking care of ourselves. It's kind of a hard energy to run into, I think, so frequently. There's a lot of days this week where that's on the table, but at the same time, it's the opportunity to let it go. We've gotten to enough of an awareness within ourselves to like see it for what it is this week, and see that like if we're not doing things from love, then that's the ego trying to keep us safe with the story of like, oh, I need to focus on what they want, so I can feel like I'll have something too, like so they'll give me some of them. It's like, you don't try and negotiate with terrorists like that. That's what the ego is. It's like a little inner terrorist. It's like telling you that you have to appease people on the outside, the environment on the outside, the world on the outside, to make sure that you get something, instead of giving something to yourself and then having that and then being full already and going out into the world. A little bird with like a black head and a little brown body just like flew over to say hi. Oh my gosh, he was sitting on the branch like right outside the window, and just like sat there for a moment to say, yes, spirit agrees. So just like the little raven birdie, this little birdie's like, yep, I agree. That's what's happening. So then Tuesday is got a lot going on, but I really see it as positive considering all these unicorn cards. So let's jump in. Tuesday, we have the Knight of Swords. There we go. We have the Knight of Swords in reversed. Now, the Knight of Swords in reversed, it can be a kind of scatterbrain sort of energy. When it's upright, there's like a lot of momentum towards a singular idea or a certain idea, like just some perspective. You're like, I gotta get this done today, or I gotta do this. And when it's in reverse, it's kind of like, I gotta do this and this and that and that. And what do I start first? I'm going over here. I'm going over there. It's a little scatterbrained. And I think it's really looking to pose the question, like, why am I so scatterbrained? Why don't I feel connected to my inner guidance today, especially since intuition pops up on Wednesday. It's like really asking me to examine this this connection to obligation that you have, this kind of tie to obligation, this these feelings of like, oh, but I gotta do this, oh, but I gotta do that. I think the scatterbrain like can be a problem when the things that you feel like you need to do that are like on your list are all obligations for somebody else, or when each of the things is like, well, I have to do this because if not, then there's some sort of negative story that pops up, like, then I'm a bad this, or they'll be disappointed, or I have to, or else something bad will happen if I don't do that. And so it almost creates this like Eight of Swords kind of an energy, like when that's the expression of it. And I feel like those kind of ego stories, those mental ego stories are really popping up today for you to examine them. I heard it said this week that like karmic stories that we repeat are basically stories we tell ourselves that are not out of love. So anything that we do or tell ourselves that comes from a loving place steps outside the karma, and everything else is just playing into that karmic pattern. So if you run into anything today on Tuesday when you go about your day where you feel scatterbrained, and you feel scatterbrained because there's all these obligations, ask yourself, like, is this a loving thought? Is this a loving thing that I'm doing? Am I doing this out of love for myself, or am I doing this out of obligation to avoid a story that's painful? And then your answer is going to get real clear. And you can walk away from that. You can allow yourself to transform into something new by losing that energy, telling it to get lost, so to speak. It's like you're so afraid of the flower dying that like, well, it's like you're the flower and you're not like allowing yourself to be full and to be watered because you're splitting yourself between all of these obligations and all of these stories. And so it's time to like take a look at it, examining this, and say, I'm just going to act out of love. Anything that's not love, I'm going to walk through that fear. I'm going to go to the other side of that fear door, and I'm going to see what happens. Sometimes it's scary to like see a fear and then go right into it, barrel right into it. But I think today's a good day to like look at these obligations and see them for what they are and be like, all right, I'm not going to negotiate with terrorists. I'm going to do that thing that scares me, even though I feel obligated to do it, because if I don't, I'm a terrible person. I'm just going to say, what if I wasn't a terrible person? if I didn't do it, and see what happens. And then you'll find that you have peace within yourself. You expand your psychic gifts and open up new gates and new doors, and there's new opportunities awaiting you. So the unicorns are saying, go for it. Leave behind those old obligations, leave behind those karmic stories. I had this card come up for me last week, and it was on a day where I had kind of this opportunity to like go and interact with an old karmic story, and I just didn't feel like it. I was like, you know what? No, I'm in my own energy. I'm feeling good. I just don't feel obligated to like do it. I just don't feel like it today. No, I feel good. I don't feel like bringing this energy back in, because every time I bring the energy back in, it always makes me feel like, it takes the wind out of my sails, and it makes me feel like, why did I even bother? Why did I even do this? took the wind out of my sails. It didn't make me happy. It didn't like add anything to enrich my life. It just made me realize like why I was leaving the story behind. And I don't necessarily need to keep reminding myself why I walked away from this thing. It was kind of clear and obvious. And anytime I go back, it becomes more clear and more obvious. So like, I think I can just take the hint. So this day, it may be asking you to like, just take the hint. If you're not feeling it, don't obligate yourself to feel it. And be a peace ambassador. Practice cosmic mastery, this grounding yourself to receive the energy of the new opportunities from the universe. That's what it's asking you to do. It's asking you to have peace within yourself, like accept these decisions that you make to leave things behind and ground and center yourself in that peace. And then you open up new doors, like I was saying with this Four of Pentacles, this four energy, this gateway. New doors will await you because you're trusting in yourself and you're trusting in your intuition and your psychic gifts and your inner knowing. It gets stronger and it gets more loud and more clear, and allows you to really cultivate that deep trust within yourself as you've been doing, but in a way that feels more solid. And that opens up new opportunities for you to explore, and new gateways and new pathways, because you're saying bye to the old stuff. You're saying, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be obligated. And when you say no to something that's not serving you, then that opens up space for new things that do serve you, that are aligned with you. So that's what's coming in on this day. So declutter your life, glimpse a magical doorway. Hell yeah, we are. So I see this as a really positive, really good day. But you're just going to be presented with that kind of scorpionic energy of like, all right, trial by fire a little bit, it's not going to be, it's going to be obvious. It's not going to be like so intense where you, you don't need to have a crazy bad day over it or anything. I think that, you just got to be real with yourself. That's really it. Just be real with yourself. Don't make yourself feel bad over not wanting to do stuff that doesn't serve you. Just making that conscious decision to not do that anymore, because we've done it enough. Where has it gotten you? Oh, it's gotten you. It's gotten you feeling bad. Like, is that worth it? Is it worth it to just feel bad because of somebody else? Or are we going to try something else and make ourselves feel good for once? And I think that that's what the energy is really supporting this week. So I'm very grateful for it. So then on Wednesday, we have the King of Cups. And I love this. We have King of Cups. We have rest and intuition. I feel like on that kind of intense day of Tuesday, where we encountered a lot of the slings and arrows of cosmic stories, we get a day to rest and connect to our intuition that we've now like opened up by saying no, by saying we're done with the old stories and the old obligations that we had, the old ties that we had to doing stuff that didn't serve us. We open up a connection to our inner knowing, to our psychic gifts, to our intuition. And so we can just have some peace on this day and just chill, just rest in the knowing that we have a connection to this inner knowing. And also, this King of Cups energy, very secure in our emotionality, very secure in ourselves. And so we're feeling so much more secure in ourselves than we were at the beginning of the week, because we've taken this time to disengage from these old karmic stories, from these old ego stories. And so we kind of get like a nice little reprieve here. Also with the rose gold cosmic pool, bathe in cosmic love, soak up wisdom. So essentially it's asking you to rest and let your intuition bring you all the information you need to move forward. I mean, maybe not all the information, but the information that's going to be relevant today. So it's all about holding space for yourself today to just be, just allow yourself to be. And whatever comes up, trust that it's guiding you towards what you're really looking for. I think that, sometimes the situations don't always look the way that we expect them to, the way that we want them to. But that doesn't mean that they're not turning into what we want. It just kind of shows how limited our way of thinking is. The universe is infinite ways of bringing things to us, bringing abundance to us, and it knows the exact right way to do it. And since we can't really be clued into the infinity of the universe all at once, we can just know what we know from our experience. We have no idea all of the possibilities that await us. That's why this week it's so important to ground ourselves and let those possibilities come through the doorway, because they're just like waiting there. They're waiting there on the other side of the door for us to say, okay, you know what? I'm done with the old life. I'm ready to step into my new life. And on this day, it's kind of a little bit of a reprieve, honestly. And kind of getting ready for the rest of the week, getting ready for Thursday when we uncord relationships. We finally can walk through the door. We can let go. We can forgive whatever we were tied to. The reason that we have ego obligations is because we were in a situation that was maybe traumatic and difficult for us, and we blamed ourselves on some level for it. And so in trying to avoid it, we continue to blame ourselves, and we continue to be harsh and judgmental towards ourselves. And forgiving ourselves is so important to moving past these ties, moving past this karma, moving past the ego stories and obligations and judgments that keep us in an old way of being that doesn't serve us. Of course, forgiving others is important too, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of it comes down to beating ourselves up. Like an example in my own life, I was mad at this old boss I had for a long time for not speaking up for me, not taking action to make my experience better at my job. And even though I talked to him multiple times and I was very vulnerable with him about my experience, he kind of did nothing. He told me, I was in his office crying multiple times. You know what he told me? He said, hey, here's an audio book that you should read that can help you to resolve this situation. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's like, you're the one that should be resolving the situation, not me reading an audiobook. It was really, it's kind of hilarious now. It's it was at the time I listened to the audiobook, but it didn't really help me. In the end, the universe helped me by cutting loose the whole situation. But I realized after the fact, and I held anger towards him and frustration towards him for a while, until I realized one day, I gave my power to care for myself, to take responsibility for my situation. I gave that power to him. I gave my power to him and expected him to take care of me. I gave my power to take care of myself to somebody else and expected them to take care of me. Who am I really angry at here? Who am I really frustrated at here? And it's me. It was me the whole time. I was so upset at him, and I didn't even realize that I was mad because I wasn't being taken care of. And whose responsibility is that? It's mine. Also recently, from that same job, I saw some post where somebody was crediting somebody else for work that a lot of us did. And it's not that person didn't take part, but it just kind of felt like insulting, because it's we were all there doing the work. We were all there, and you're just crediting this one person that was always doing the lip service. But I realized pretty quickly after reading it, almost immediately, I was upset at myself for not using my voice, for not speaking up. I always hid behind this person and their voice, and I always wanted them to speak for me. And I've been doing a lot of speaking for myself the past few months, and it feels so good. And I realize I never want to hide my voice behind anyone else. I never want to have anyone else represent me. I want to represent me. It was me that I'm mad at. It's not them. It's me that I was frustrated at. But I see that, and I forgive myself, and I accept that responsibility. I accept that sovereignty, that role that I now want to play in my life of representing myself, of caring for myself. And so that's what I mean by forgiveness. A lot of times it actually circles back to us and our own feelings of powerlessness that we create for ourselves. So all that said, all that to say, Ace of Wands in reverse. So Ace of Wands in reverse, I think it's like we're cultivating this kind of connection to what we truly want deep in our hearts, and it's manifesting. It's not quite shown us the way, but it's shown us to get to the way. We need to let go of what we're tied to. It's in more of an internal sense rather than an external sense of like, I'm going to go do this action out in the world. It's like, no, to do these actions out in the world, I need to do this inside of myself. And it's going to be very successful. With the success card coming up and it's saying wake on here, especially right after we get rest the previous day. It's like we get a moment of rest, just like a pause within a song, and then the crescendo starts up again. We wake up to ourselves again. We're like, what was I doing? I think a realization similar to what I was talking about comes forward on this day of like realizing this is where I was giving my power away. I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at me. Oh my God, that changes everything. So I think that this is the energy that we're going to be experiencing on this day, this like waking up to where we've made ourselves powerless and saying no more. We're done with that. We're not going to do that anymore. It's not such a mystery anymore why this situation was so difficult. And that's okay. You know what? I can forgive these people because I forgive myself. I see where my power was taken, and it wasn't necessarily taken. It was given away. I see where I gave my power away because I was scared of what it meant to have my power. But now I see what it's like to feel powerless, and that feels worse. So that's what we're realizing on this day. All right, so continuing forward with Friday. Okay, cool. Right on time. Continuing forward with Friday, we have the moon in reverse and we have community and caring community. How wonderful is this? Okay, so on Thursday, we're seeing our situation for what it is in the way that we've given ourselves away. And then we take that self back. And because now we've taken that self back, we can rejoin society. I think that, I know for me, I've felt this way, but I'm sure a lot of other people have been vibing with this like need to distance yourself from society, distance yourself from other people to just like get your head back on your shoulders. Like, because I know for myself, I kind of have had this fear of like, jumping back into relationships and jumping back into situations with people because I'm worried that like I'll get taken advantage of, or I'll just overpromise, or I'll people please or something like that. Express some sort of like negative aspect of relationship that I kind of was conditioned to express, like people pleasing. I was such a people pleaser and I overlooked myself constantly for years until it became such a problem that I couldn't unsee it. I couldn't unsee it for what it was. And so it's made me afraid to rejoin people at times because it's like, what if I just fall into those patterns again and I just lose myself again? I've been so scared to lose myself. And I think other people have been vibing on that. It's like, how do I lose myself when I get into relationships? I don't quite understand how it happens, and so I just avoid relationships. And you know, that's okay. That's totally okay, because you need that time with yourself to really understand these things so you can have that strength moving forward. It's all about cultivating this strength inside and this love for ourselves. It's like, before we can vibe with others, before we can find our tribe or whatever, we have to vibe with ourselves. We have to be our own little tribe within ourselves. And on this day, we're really releasing a lot of things. The moon upright is when it's coming up to the surface and we're seeing all the ooey gooey difficult things. But when it's in reverse, it means like And now we're exhaling all the ooey gooey things and we don't need to deal with them anymore. And now we can actually like rejoin society and find kindred spirits and participate and belong, which is what we wanted, but we needed to belong within ourselves first. And we're really able to do that on this day and see these things for what they are and see all the opportunities to connect to new people that we love and new things that we're going to enjoy, new experiences that we can have with other people and with ourselves. So I'm loving it. Really excited. Saturday. We're getting close to an hour here. We're almost wrapped. Saturday, we got the King of Wands in reverse. We've got Protecting Love. Let me focus this up. Focus. Thank you. And we've got Stargate of Lyra. So, this Protecting Love card, it's interesting that we have these energies on Saturday. Coming from all that, it's kind of like, okay, we've gone out into the world and we've let these things go. And it's kind of like, how can we be this like sovereign leader to ourselves? It's like the King of Wands is very much like, I am the leader. I am the boss. I'm the boss man. I know how to put together all the things and make my dreams happen and all of that great stuff. But it's like, when it's reversed, I feel like this energy on this day is asking us like, okay, well, now that we've let go of things, now that we've rejoined society, what do we want? What do we want to move forward towards? What do we want to open up in our lives? What magic do we want to bring into the world? But also like, what is our purpose and cause? I don't feel like it's an active day so much where we're like going out and doing things, especially since he's in reverse. It's more of like, how is this inner strength going to serve me? How is this inner strength going to cultivate what I want to be cultivating in the world? Protecting Love is all about, this card is protecting love, caring about all the little things in our lives, caring about all of the soft, weak, innocent, gentle things in our life. The things that don't have a voice, the things that are fragile and delicate. It's about having the strength to care for those things, being a real steward of the world, having this awareness that's outside of you, but also inside of you. And I think that we're connecting to those more fragile parts of ourselves on this day, and we're able to see them in a new way. We're able to actually be the steward of ourselves and take care of these fragile parts of ourselves, take care of these more delicate parts that are more sensitive. And then through understanding those sensitivities and caring for them, we're able to bring in new creativity and new magic into our lives. So I think that's a nice energy for Saturday. It's a little more subdued than some of the other days of the week, because I feel like this is more of like an internal day to connect in a new way to these parts of yourself that maybe you've hidden away, or maybe were disguised by the ego as something to not take into consideration. I think you're really taking yourself into consideration. You're taking all of the delicate things into consideration today, and you're seeing how they fit into the big framework and how they actually are opportunities to bring more magic in. So staying grounded and centered on this day really allows you to see the strength of magic that lies within these more delicate aspects of your life. So yeah, I like it. I like it. Allows the magic to come through. Because, the heart is often thought of as like the tender heart, the delicate heart. But at the same time, the heart is so powerful when love is guiding it, when love is radiating through it. It's a powerful portal for creation and for all of all of life to happen. And so you're kind of reverse engineering that on this day, I feel like. And then it's so nice we go into Sunday with this Six of Cups, really connecting to ourselves on this level of nostalgia, connecting to the inner child, connecting to the inner child. That's what we're doing. We're reconnecting to the inner child and the creativity and the magic of the inner child. That's what we're doing on Saturday. We're really seeing it for what it is. We're seeing like, okay, but like, what if my inner child was running the show? What if I gave the kid the keys to the kingdom? And what would they do then? What magic would they bring through? It's caring for that tender part of yourself, that little inner child part that maybe was hurt and maybe was protecting itself through all of these ego devices. You're now allowing it to take center stage and sit behind the driver's side of the car, which I think is really, really needed. So get behind the steering wheel, little child. I will supervise. I will supervise, and we'll make the magic happen. And then on Sunday, really taking flight, connecting to those things that you love, and we're starting to see possibilities of bringing that to others, seeing new ways to take what you love and bring that into the world. It's a day of fullness, but also a day of gentleness, continuing with that protecting love, that gentle inner child. So you're treating yourself in a way that's very loving, very tender, very gentle. There's no judgment here. It's very innocent, and you're allowing your innocence to bring forward all of these gifts. There's this real fullness within yourself when you choose to not judge, and you choose to just let things be and let these energies kind of come through you, no matter what they are. So it's a really wonderful energy. And I feel like in doing so and allowing yourself to express your heart's feelings, this is the 6. I love that it starts with the 6 and it ends with the 6 this week. Allowing yourself to express these feelings from the heart with no judgment allows so much to come through, and it really brings joy into your life, but it also brings your gifts into the world in a new way. The cosmic rainbow card also adds up to 6, the number of the heart space. The cosmic rainbow card is about discovering the treasure within yourself. And that's what comes through on this day. You're discovering the treasure within yourself, and you're not judging it. You're seeing it for what it is, as a treasure to share with the world, but also to experience yourself. Like we were talking about here Monday, it's not about having or doing for the external or the outside world. It's having and doing for yourself. And then that abundance is what you share with the world. And that fullness is what you share with the world. So, yeah, wow. Wonderful, beautiful energies on these days. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. A lot of letting go of what's not serving us. A lot of realizations of how we've been selling ourselves short, how we've been judging ourselves, how we've been telling ourselves stories that are scary and not true and hurtful and painful, and twisting and contorting ourselves to try and avoid these stories. It's like, I want to avoid thinking I'm a horrible person, so I'm going to do the thing that I don't want to do. How is that creating abundance and joy and fulfillment and strength and power in your life? It's not. So this week we're seeing that for what it is, and we're letting go. It's not so scary anymore. We're letting go, and we're finding connection, and we're getting a new sense of self as we move past these old stories that dragged us down into new stories that lift us up. So that said, I hope you all have a beautiful week. Good luck with all of this. My heart goes to you all. You have my loving support. And leave comments telling me what you're going through and what's happening for you. I absolutely support everybody in their journey to discovering themselves, no matter how vulnerable they feel or unlovable they may feel. It's just not true. It's only a story you've told yourself. And when you see through the eyes of the heart, you realize just how lovable every part of you is. And that's what you're bringing through this week. So you all take care. I love you. Stay safe. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. But regardless, have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye, guys.